Today we have got all kinds of makes for you. It's Easter soon. I've just realised it's in like 2 weeks' time, which is not very long at all. So let's get ourselves Easter ready. We had a lovely retreat at the weekend. Myself and Jane, organised and sorted by Creative Hideaways, which is lovely Adam. He sorted everything for us. It was in a beautiful place called the Hawksyard Estate, and it was lovely. Jane's group made this absolutely beautiful cushion, and we have got a bundle that you could make this from out of Liberty for you today. But here's the thing, right? Jane made this gorgeous cushion, and this is appliqued on. The bunny rabbit here is appliqued on. We've got instructions for that. If you wanted to make it with Jane's help, you needed to be on the retreat. But we've got the instructions there, as ever, step by step, really simple to follow. But it comes with a template on the back. And I don't know about you, but I love the shape of that bunny. I just think he's absolutely glorious. So I made him bigger. There he is. Because that's the thing with bunnies, isn't it? They multiply everywhere. And did a thing. It's like, actually, if I made him bigger, then I could do multiple things with him, and this is what I've done. So, Scrappy placemat, perfect. Or if you want to have place settings for your Easter table with your cutlery, then you can do that. Or if you don't make the pocket quite so high, if you put your pocket sort of across there, then it's absolutely perfect for gifts and things like that. So you'd be able to put in some M&Ms, maybe a bit of chocolate in there, and have it as a gift, as a nice little gifting situation, maybe as your Easter table or whatever it is that you do for Easter. Here it is. And that is using this larger template. Which is larger, so you can have your cushion on your chair, and then you can have your placemats or your gift pouch, or however you wish to use it. We have got bundles for these today. This is Scrappy. Okay, so if you want to do this, if you want to buy one of our scrap bags, then you can get one of our scrap bags with a free Scrappy pattern with it. Hooray. Oh, apparently the bowling bag kits. I've got 2 bowling bag kits. Wiz, could you grab the bowling bag kits out of the light box for me, please? Thanks, Wiz. We also made a bowling bag kit. I would really like to have shown you the version that we made. However, Adam kept it because he loved it. He absolutely loved it. We will make some more of the green kits actually today, because we've got some more of that webbing in. The webbing was crazy. Right, Jane?
Have you got a long-handled duster?
Have I got a long-handled duster? Have I got a web coming down?
Web across the.
Have I?
I can see it on my phone, just very faintly. It's only in the corner.
Of the.
I think it must be the camera because it's a picture.
No. Do you know what? They are going crazy at the moment. I've already dusted a hole.
It's the time of year, isn't it?
They're all over the shop. Bear with us, everybody.
That's it. Should be all right.
Is that better?
I think so. I was just like,
Join us for cleaning.
Let's make the camera wobble. Everybody's going to be like, oh, dizzy.
Tell you what, let's switch it to this angle, which isn't wobbly.
Oh dear.
And I'll show you these bowling bag kits. I have only got a handful left of these. So they all of these ones come with the navy. And so this isn't a wax, but it is a water repellent fabric. Really beautiful to sew with. And then each kit comes with your zip and your legacy interfacing. We had a big conversation about the legacy interfacing on the retreat as to there were those that hadn't come across it before. They're like, oh, this is really lovely to sew with. It's like H640 but feltier. That's the best way that I can describe it. So then you need to choose whether you go for this one. Now this was the really interesting thing, because when I put this kit together, I imagined that everyone would use the handles like this, but actually lots used them the other way and had it as a gorgeous contrast on their denim there, on their navy rather there. So it was just really nice, and we got these made. So next time that we do a retreat, get yourselves down there, come and join us. We'll give you a little bit more notice next time. So you either go with the mustard lining and that one, or the red lining, and then whichever way round you want that to go. That way, or that way. That way, or that way. Guys, these bag kits should be 50 odd quid. No, they're not. They're about half that. So it's pretty impressive, the pricing that we've managed to bring for you on these kits. When they're gone, they're gone. We had to import we had to import this binding. Had to come in. We didn't have it just there. Right, so I told you that we put together some beautiful bundles for the bunny cushion. And with what you've got left over, you'll be able to do some of these. So we have put, now these are the Liberty fabrics. Aren't they beautiful? That we had last week. And they are, I said to Jane, which one should we do? Should we do it with just the blues? Which looks absolutely gorgeous. The light is slightly out there because it's so bright and sunny outside. Or with the pink. We couldn't decide, so we did both. And then you've got your silver mink for the actual bunny. Okay. These are 27 inches by 20 as opposed to your normal 22 by 20. Let me show you these on a closety uppity. These are the new Liberties. I took 2 sets of these with me on the retreat, and that was it. As soon as people saw them, they just flew. But if you would like those pastel tones, neutrals and pastels there, so that you can do all of these bunny Easter things, then go for your lives. And of course then you get that for your bunny, which tonally just works beautifully. I know that you're going to struggle to see this on our camera. Whoop. I don't know if I can do that. It's the lined outline of the Emily Blossom. But there they are. Just stunning. I heart them very much. In fact, I shall keep them close. They are just absolutely gorgeous. I did mine with leftover scraps that we had. That was from the lining of the bag I made last week. And then, I think that's the sky. Is that? No, I don't know which one that is. I can't remember. They've all got so many names. If we still have, and we will have to close this off today, by the way. But if you had wanted, for every single colour, we've got a 5 metre piece with a massive discount on. It's like a £30 discount on, which is basically a metre of your 108s. These are 108 inches wide. Liberty fabrics, the Lazenby cotton. It's absolutely exquisite, and it's the Emily, it's the Emily Bloom, bigger. So it's the Emily Blossoms. It's slightly bigger version. We were sent a little bit too much, so we've had to cut the 5 metres off to send back. But we thought, you know what? If anybody wanted them at a discount because they're there, we wouldn't have to do anything to them other than put them in a bag and post them. That would do you several quilt backs. So that just as something, if there's a colour there that you absolutely love, because bearing in mind tomorrow's show, we bring you a brand new creative grid. That's your Hunter style in Liberty fabrics. They are divine. So if you see a favourite, go for it. Go for it. Now, also on the bunny front, if we're talking Liberty, because I think Liberty and bunnies just goes really, really nicely, we have got an incredible discounted bundle for you here. We had these half meters, and I can't do all of them now because some of them are sold out. But what I do have left is here, and we have got these as a fat quarter bundle. Look at all of these. And it's effectively half price, I think, with what they did with the pricing in the end. So you've got your pinks, you've got your yellows, you've got your blues. And I just think that these makes, these Scrappy makes, well, you can see I've used quite a lot of them. I had some of the blues and the pinks to hand. I didn't have the yellows, else I would have put that in there. These would be perfect. You could do all of these. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Oh, yes. So do grab those if you like, because that, when these are gone, I got these on a little bit of a discount, and I have massively passed on a very big discount for you with those. So they are there for you to play with as well. Now today, I promised you last week that we would do this. This is absolutely perfect for putting your mobile phone in. Let me open it up for you. I did do one of these the other day, and actually I haven't even had time to press the lining yet. But I wasn't quite happy with the finished thing, so I put it off to do for this, and also we ran out of time. So I put it off to do this week because I wanted to add pockets. So this version has got pockets. And it's just a neater version. The original one that I did, I fused the lining onto there, but then you saw the underside of all the zip. It wasn't as neat as I wanted, so I thought, you know what, if it's worth doing, let's do it properly. And then the elasticated lanyards that we did last week, I've made one of those. But you would have enough of your PU if you wanted to just do a straight PU lanyard, then you could do that. The elasticated key fobs are absolutely perfect for this. So just really, really handy. I don't know. Gemma said, why did you make it? And it's because I never have enough hands. By the time that I'm juggling school bags, dogs, poo bags, leads, more kids, jackets, coats, all the things that should be in the bags that the kids haven't put in the bags, but they still have the bags, PE kits, and everything else. My phone either gets thrown on the floor or keys or whatever it is. I thought I just need something that's got my stuff in it that I can just have on my wrist or just have in one place. And then Gemma said to me that her mum's recovering from an operation. She's on crutches. She doesn't have, because she's on both crutches, she doesn't have enough hands, and that would be really handy to hang over the handle so that she could put her phone or the TV remote or whatever it is that she needs to move around the place just in there. So it's like, right, dual purpose. You've got a pocket either side. These are so easy to make. And you'll make two of them for under 10 quid, which I think is pretty good value. Hurrah. And let me show you these bundles. Some of these bundles were from last week and have sold. Again, you're going to have to rummage on the website for these. I've added more stock on today. Let's look at the new ones. There's a lot in today's show. So this, if you want a look that's kind of posh handbaggy, then you might want to go for one of these bundles here. And then we've got it lined with the red bumbleberries. So these do remind me of the posh handbags. And then this is again, so that is you. If I just give you the letters, then you'll know. This is V1, and you've got your grey in there. Again, this is like your posh handbags. This is V2. Rather than you trying to And we've gone with a very sophisticated grey. So it's got a different one there. That's the same-ish, just a little bit darker. So again, you choose. These are going to make great gifts. And it might be that you don't want to do the elasticated lanyard. You might want to do just a normal lanyard. This is W. And this is a very swanky Moda plain that you've got with that one. I'll demo in a similar one to this today. But you've got a Sanderson lining here, a striped Sanderson lining, which is really rather gorgeous. And again, so these will make 2. And then if you've got something like your continuous zip, then go for it. I love the pink with this. This is why. Now the other thing, of course, we had these last week when we did the bears. When we did the bear wallets. And of course these can be made out of PU as well. So you'd have, that would be your outer, that would be your bear outer, and then his ears would be pink. So they are absolutely perfect for last week's project as well. As well. So that's why. This is the one that I made mine out of. And instead of getting 2 bits of PU, you've got like a double all-in-one piece. And there's your pink linen texture that goes so beautifully with that. Oh, I love this one. There are so many new ones here that I really, really love. This one. Look at that with the shells, like the scallops. I've got another version of that one here, which is ZE, I think, where you've got a piece of that and then you've got, it's like a snake print on that blue. I think I've only got one of those. These are coming in at, I think, $9.99. So, like I say, you would make 2 for $9.99, which is pretty impressive. It's lovely, isn't it? And then the same with these. These are the wider ones, but look, if you wanted to have the metallic and that. I made some of the fold-over pouches out of this ages and ages and ages ago when we first realised that you could back your PU with your fabric, with your Keaton Bond. And I've got a pink version. When we had this PU in before, oh my goodness, it absolutely flew. So that is, this is ZA with a plainer pink and a green. That's your other sheet. So do just grab a good look on the website for these. You'll see how they come. And then ZB. With your roses and that. Now, of course, these would also make your pencil cases. You know the zero waste, the no waste pencil cases that I've done before. These ones, I've trodden on this. But they would also do those makes. It's been a little bit battered because it fell on the floor. But yeah, they would do those ones. They're the no waste small but mighty pouches. And then this one, ZC. You've got your green and your floral and your pink. And then you've got your blue floral here and a textured faux leather there, ZD. So they are the new ones. What's Gemma saying? She's saying, can you hurry up and demo? Still working our way through the bundles. There was a crazy amount to load this morning. Yes, bear with us. Check back in if there's one you've seen that isn't available. Morning, Auntie Lizzie. Cynthia says, greetings, saw some great pictures on Facebook. It looked like everyone had a great time at the treat. Wish you could have been there. Well, we wish you could be there too. Auntie Liz says, it's bad enough carrying for a dog and myself. I can't imagine children things as well. It's never ending, Auntie Lizzie. Absolutely never ending. These were last week's ones that were available. This is O, and you've got like a glittery black one there and a pearlescent leather one there. And that's your fat quarter for your lining there. This had the Nami. This is P. I don't know if we've got any of this left. But look at the last of the Nami with that and that incredible. It's really soft glitter, by the way. Incredibly soft glitter. And then you've got that pearlescent PU there. Be a bit blue, wouldn't it? This is Q here. So again with that Nami. This sold out. This was the last piece of Nami that we had. It was up. I don't know if it ever quite got loaded as a bolt end, but that was all that we had left. So you've got a glittery piece, and then you've got a faux leather piece with the grain and everything on that, and that is Q. And then here, this is R. Oh, R is nice. It's got a bit of Macawa. Oh, what we got, Jane? Something exciting? Somebody at the door. So, yeah, gold and black. So you've got a glittery black and a textured black. It's hard to see that on the screen. And that is R. These ones are all loaded. Sorry, Gemma, I should have started with these. Now, I love this Phoenix fabric here. And look, it's just the right colour. Move my bunnies out the way so that you can see these. But these are pearlescent and pink and just oh so lovely. That's S. T over here has got a fat quarter of Tilda. T is for Tilda. But look how they are a shade different. You can just see that. But my goodness, lined with that. It's going to look something like that. There you go. And then these we showed you last week. So go and have a look through the website. You've got Tula pink there. You've got all sorts of really, really glorious collections here. And they will make so many different things. The handy one, which is one of our bags that we've made, actually ended up in the sample sale and got sold. But the handy one works with these kits as well. They are a multiple use kit. Multiple use. So let's take a look then, shall we, at how we're going to make these today. So it's pretty simple really. You're going to need a piece of zip. Hope that's long enough, otherwise we'll be cutting another piece. And then you want to fold this over. If you want to make this wider, then it's entirely up to you. But I am going to trim mine. And here's the beautiful thing. You now have that. So if you want to make yourself a lanyardy thing out of what you've got left there, then perfect, do. No problems there. And then if you've got such thing as a curved corner cutter, then you're going to curve off. Otherwise, I will put a template in the back of the pattern for you. Or you can just use a dinner plate or whatever just to curve that corner away. So that's going to be my outer. So far so good, right? Nice and simple. And then I'm going to cut from my fabric here. And so look, you really can see that you will make two out of this. So this is double folded so that I'm going to get two of these as I go. Just going to line that up there. Now, I'm going to take one to one side and the other one I will curve the edge on, and this will be my lining. And this one will be my pocket. Okay. So, got a lining situation going on here. That's absolutely perfect. And then here I'm going to just take off a little 1/2 inch strip. You'll see why for later. Okay. Now for this one's to be the pocket. So on that one where it's that width, we're just going to fold it in half. Now, the beautiful thing, right, about retreats is that there will be some people that bring along interesting things and you go, oh, that's good. And this was one of them. So this was sat on one of the desks, like, what is this? And you ping up the handles and you have got a really feisty little travel iron, which is great. And it comes with a little spray bottle, so you can put your starch spray or anything like that in it if you wish. I still have mine in their original bottle, so I didn't need to do that. But my goodness, this is small and mighty. I was really impressed by it. There's your on-off there, and then whether you want it on 120 volts or 240 volts. So depending on where you're travelling to, but how neat is that? Comes with the travel case, also comes with a little silicone rest, which I've been using. So that is brilliant. So I immediately found a supplier, and they are on the website. Right. I'm going to say to Izzy, if you need to come and get those PUs so that you can help Gemma load the right thing to the right thing, then do. So we're just going to stitch across the top. Pop one on top of the other here. Oh, it's just out slightly, isn't it? Oh, it's a shame. Here, let me first. Almost. Let me just finger press that. I wonder if I can cheat that. I think I can cheat it. Don't know. Not sure. But I'm going to just sew down. So that just divides the pocket there. I'm just going to trim that off and then we'll just pretend. Lovely. Okay, so that's our out. This is our outer, that is our lining there. So next up we need a zip. You want to make sure, is that going to be long enough? We'll see, shall we? Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, I've got these ones. I just found that in my stash, but otherwise I've got these ones, which are also rather fabulous. In fact, I might just use this. These were the 10 meters with 20 pulls, which are just absolutely brilliant. And then I know I can cut it a little bit too long, but I know I've got enough then. And that makes me happy, knowing that I've got enough. So cut your length and then split it. You're going to take your quilter's washaway tape and go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside of your outer fabric. And then teeth side down, we're going to go around and place this on top. If you want to snip into the zip, then you can, to get it around those corners. I haven't felt the need, but if you want to, then of course you can. Oh yeah, you see, look, I've got plenty. And then go around with your zip tape on top of that. This is the quilter's washaway tape. Again, this is why I find the retreats so interesting. I had one of the lovely ladies there and she'd bought her tape elsewhere, and it just, she's like, I hate it, it's not the same. I'm like, no, it's not the same. You might be able to buy it cheaper elsewhere. It's cheaper for a reason, because it's not this tape. I import this specially, go to the same supplier every time. I've tried the cheaper ones, they bung up your needle and they are just not as good. Let's go right sides together then. Let's pop this in here. I'm just expecting a new delivery of the quilter's washaway tapes as well. So if you don't have it yet, pop it on your wish list and get it. It makes such a difference. I don't know how I'd be able to do these zips otherwise. Bring them around here like this. Just, it would be a nightmare trying to pin and clip. No. But can I manage to tape it down? Yes, I can. And there it is, and I'm going to stitch all the way around the outside. Now I'm not even using a zipper foot. You can do. And what all I'm doing is just pushing, you see I'm just pushing the zip tape to make sure that it's lying in. But you see my general purpose foot is quite narrow anyway. But otherwise, put that zip foot on. And if you want to snip into there, then you can. Otherwise, turn it through the right way. Gemma, are you okay? Are you getting the help that you need to get these loaded? They all look quite similar, these ones, you see, so Gemma's trying really hard to get it absolutely right. But if you need any help, I'm not sure if Jane and Wiz heard me, to come and get the kits, because the kits are still sitting there. If you need to press that from the other side, then you can. But to be honest, just pulling that zip out tends to do it. And then we're going to top stitch around the inside there. So just, yeah, give that just a little tug just to make sure that that all comes out nicely together. And then oh, Gemma's loading the irons. Yes, they are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I hadn't seen them before, and I had to do a little bit of searching to find a supplier. But by the end of the day, I'd found one, and they sent them out really quick. So I was very happy about that. So just top stitching. Okay, so then let's just neaten up. And then we're going to insert our zip pull. Okay, let's go through this again, because this was the other thing, was watching people struggle with the zip pulls. Not fun, not fun at all. So flat side down, flat side on flat side, and guys, you've got to actually, if you thread it so that it's sitting like that, then you've got no space. You need to actually have the slot free for the zip to go into the zip pull. So slide that into there with the pull facing that way, and then is your tape, the teeth rather, again facing that way. Bring it in at an angle, at a V, and just feed it in from the top at a V. And it is easy to sort of push it on rather than pull it from the bottom. I've just pulled it off. Brilliant. There you go. And so you want your zip pull on just a little bit. And then you want to flip your lining. No, don't undo that. Flip your lining out. It might be that I have to actually, do you know what, I'm going to put that on. I did this with a size 5 earlier and it stayed put. So what I might just do is flip this out so that you have got whilst I don't want my zip done all the way up at all, I do want the bottom of it to be together. So with it inside out, then it's not going to come undone. Let's just pop that on again. Can you see it if I do it like that? No, makes it too difficult for me then. It's trying to get the camera angle for you to be able to see what I'm doing. Let's get the fabric out the way. I've got a thread in the way. and sometimes I can't. But equally, I've got to be able to see what I'm doing as well. I would really like for you to be able to see. You see, you push it from the top down. And that only needs to be done up a little bit. And then you need to have your, just along the bottom, push the zip towards the lining. And you're going to have your lining right sides together and your outer right sides together, and we're going to sew across that base there. Leaving a turning through gap. Very important, or you'll regret it later. If you want to just take off any little extra bits, then do. Right, my tip for you on turning through is to go to the furthest point. It's always go to the furthest point. And then just ease through from there. And then before you put that all together, you can sew up that turning through hole. Turn it that way so that I'm sewing down towards the zip. Do you know what, I am going to push that through. Whoop. Before I turn it through, I'm going to make sure it's properly turned through before I sew up my turning through gap, so I can get into that corner there. There we go. Okay. And so then can open that zip up to then sew that turning through gap closed. And that's really the main part of it done. If you want to make it into a wristlet sort of style affair, then that's closed up my turning through gap. Put that into the corner down there like that. And give that a little bit of a press. With my new fancy schmancy iron. Lovely. And you've got two pockets there. And it just closes up very neatly, like so. Now this little strip that you cut off earlier, fold it in half. I would just curve round those edges. Leather punch. Make a hole next to the curve there. And then on that middle bit there, I tend to go down about 1 inch. Punch a hole through everything and then you can insert your rivet. Have you got your rivets yet? Have you? Rivets they just change everything. It's just great. Now, you might want to, you've got options here. So you might want to put just a normal rivet in to hold that. You might not want to put that in at all. You might want to put in if you've got the O-ring Chicago screws, you might want to put in one of those instead. But if you do want to put in the rivets, then that goes in there, that lines up there, and then you put your rivet through all those layers through to there, and then you're going to hammer that in place there. So then you have, so you'd hammer that down, and then you'd have that tab there to put something like your wristlet strap or your lanyard or whatever it is that you want. Like I say, equally you could put on one of these instead. I know that lots of you bought these the other day from us. So it's nice to bring up these projects where you can use them, because, you know, if you've got sort of 60 odd of them, like, am I just going to use it in one place? No, you're not. No, you're not. And then you could always just attach your key rings onto the back if you wanted to have everything in place. But that screws in there. And then you could just have that. So you've got all these different design options. That looks quite smart actually. And then you would have that if you didn't want to create your own matching PU tab. So you either have that or you have that on the back to then attach whatever strap or lanyard you want to do. And it's nice because we sold these last week. We sold these in sets of 6. We also sold 18s with the fobs. But you see, then you've got, because we did the 6 different colours, you've got the right colour fob to do. Now it might be that you just want to do a nice easy one. Trim that to the width of your fob. Or even, how wide is that? Make a very quick one. We did the elasticated ones last week. You can watch that show back. That's very easy as well. You might want to fold these into the middle. Then we're gonna, oh yeah, we've got time to do a quick bunny. If you do want to do it like this, run a line of quilters wash away tape down there. Thing is, it won't be, with what you've got left here, it's not going to be an over the wrist one. The elasticated key fob is absolutely perfect for this, because it's just going to go over your wrist. I'm just drawing a centre line so that I can then take my quilters wash away tape off, match that into the middle. But again, we've done so many different types of lanyard, key fobs, all those things. They would all work with these. I'm just going to stitch down both sides. Pick the one that most appeals to you, I think, is the thing. I've done elasticated ones with my other ones. So let's have this as another option. then we've given you all the options. Just trim away any threads. So top stitch down both sides, and then on goes. Come on, who's had them? Where are they? Oh, it's me. I've had them. I tend to close them part of the way, not all the way. Check that I'm happy that everything is tucked in, then squeeze. So there are your options, you see. You can have something that is bright and zazzy and fun, or you can have something a little bit more, or there's like a halfway mark there, and the thing is, the minute that you open it up and you see the lining inside, then this all sort of makes sense. So they are your options, but they are incredibly useful to have. And when you open that up, you've got pockets either side and space here as well. So they're a really, really handy thing to do. And bearing in mind that you can make two of those, the outer fabric, the lining fabric, less than £10 for two of those. That's all right. That's a good thing. That is a very good thing. Let's look at bunnies, shall we? The scrappy ones are delightful, by the way, just delightful. So let's move some of these out of the way and let's get cracking. Oops. This is, for anyone that quilts, this is absolutely perfect for using up your leftover scraps. So you're going to pop your bunny on there, decide which way round you want it. I'm going to go this way. We'll do the scrappy one. Now with my one initially, this is my one from my very first one, I've gone in all kinds of directions, but you could also do sort of a, what's the word I want? Like a log cabin, which we might do today. Just sort of rough cut, so you're not dragging lots of extra fleece. You can do this with H640, just leave at least a ½ inch around there for later. If you're using this for, what else could you be using it for? Get all my scraps out in all the world. What's I saying? Can't remember what I was saying. I have no idea what I was saying. What was I saying? Help me, somebody. But it really can be as scrappy as you like. So let's start here. We're going to sew across there, flip it up. Oh, you can use H640 and then it would just, you'd be pressing sort of onto there. I didn't for this. I used H640 on this one. And just adhered the backing on, and then that was super easy to go. But I didn't on this, just in case I wanted to trim off any backing. So straight, my big pile of scraps. You can get your, remember, you can get this free pattern with your scrap bags today. So if you want to get yourself a scrap bag, then do. If you want to make this all Liberty, I'm just going to press that away. That's where these irons have been so useful. If you want to do it all in Liberty, these bundles are fab. Also, you would have lots left over from this bundle here, for which was initially for the bunny cushion, but doesn't need to be. It's got a zip on it. You don't get a zip with it. So I'm just going to work my way around and go, right, okay. And it really is, this is proper scrap busting. We had quite an interesting chat on the weekend about scraps and about our love of scraps. So just sew down there. About how it feels safer to use scraps. So sort of inspired by that conversation, I was like, right, okay, if it's safer to use scraps, then let's do that. So you're just going to watch me go back and forth, as we then start to cover up. So I'll spin him. We'll do sort of a log cabin-y affair, and just see if I flip that. Yeah, but this is using. I'm not going to keep changing the camera angle every time I sew because that's really boring. And also means it's going to take me forever, so I might use a few larger scraps. But yeah, how super gorgeous is this? And it might be that you want to start off with sort of a log cabin-y bit. There's no rules basically here, is what I'm trying to say to you. You do this however you like. So when you look at that, you might be like, oh, actually, I just want to cover a little bit there, then cover a little bit there. Look, I've got some more. And it really is that scrappy. Let's sew down there. I really enjoy doing this. And I think I will do a lot more. Do make the most of these bundles that we've got for you today, especially the scrap. The other thing that I've got for you, because if you wanted to be a little bit more uniform and cut like inch strips or whatever, then I've got that covered for you as well today. So if you wanted to do something like that, then what I've got for you is I kind of want to go scrappy across the bunny butt there. Let's get a bit of this one. Sorry, what was I saying? What have I got for you? Oh, yeah. I've got long quarter bundles, mystery long quarters, which are great because they're absolutely perfect for scraps like that. I'm just going to stitch across there and trim that back. Mystery long quarters with a free fat quarter. So not only are our mystery long quarters already incredible value, just trim away any excess there, especially if it's darker, you don't need to see that. But they are now coming with a free fat quarter so that you can back the whole thing with your mystery fat quarter. It's good, isn't it? Now you can see here I've gone over this bit that I've just laid down, and that's absolutely fine. If you want to trim this away and use it somewhere else, then do. If not, then don't. Like I say, these really can be the scrappiest things. And then if you wanted, maybe that's too big of a chunk there, so across there. As long as everything is covered, if you want to trim away, then do. If not, don't worry, then don't. So I need to put another little bit across there, which I can do. Ooh, this blue will be nice along there. That is going to cover, that's absolutely fine. What I'm looking for is just making sure that I'm covering the edge of everything. That I'm covering all my raw edges. And look, you can see how totally scrappy this is. It really is. And I'm happy with that. I want another scrappy bit there just to cover the top of his belly. But that's okay. I can do that. And here we are. It's looking quite interesting at the moment, and that's all fine. Like, this is exactly how it's meant to look right now. Nothing wrong here. Now, there really isn't a right or a wrong way to do these, by the way. It's just quite a fun thing. Your kids might want to get involved. Had mine been here yesterday, they weren't there with their dad. Had they been here yesterday, then they probably would have been involved. Absolutely. Of course they would have. So we'll have him on there. Now you see, this is outside of my rabbit body, so that's fine. That can just flap around there. Quite happy for that to be the case there. And then what do we need here? Do we want a little bit there? Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Just finding little places to put these. If I wanted to do a longer run, then I might even oh, it's tricky, isn't it? I've got so many beautiful fabrics to use up. Do I want a long run along there to echo the long run that I've got there? I might do. Do that on a wonk like that, couldn't I? Oh yes, could do that on a jaunty angle to get me around that corner. You're going to have so much fun with this. Or you could be really, really serious. We talked about randomness at the weekend and how sometimes as sewers we find it quite tricky to be random. Again, I might just want to neaten that bit up. Do I want to take that off? It's not so important because look, that's a darker fabric anyway. this little iron. It's just so handy. Yeah. It's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. But it means, yeah, I can scrappy a little bit on there. Or shall I just take that and sort of a fan around the corner? It's tricky to know. Excuse me. Oh, I might have a little run of peacocks along there. Yeah, let's do a little fan of peacocks. And again, just going back, you can take your time. I obviously am going a little bit quick because I realise that this is our second demo today. I'm not quite sure where the time has gone this morning at all, really. Great, isn't it? Can have a little peacock where his eye is. Love that. Right, I do want a little bit of a scrappy ear. Now, the thing to bear in mind is that you can kind of see where everything is there. If you wanted to, at the beginning, if you'd been that organised, you see, look, I can pull that back and I can see that actually I can sew into there without it being part of the ear. That's absolutely fine for me. But if you wanted to, you could always sew that back. You could always draw it, sorry, on the other side, had you wanted to. I'm going to just snip that thread because I've come onto his back, which I didn't want to do. Just shorten that up a little bit. You get to this stage and you can't really see, you're just like, what's this going to look like? I have no idea really. And it all becomes clear later. It's really good fun. Now I've got, this is going to come down, my bunny ears are going to come down here. If you need to double check in where everything's sitting, then look, I know that I'm going to be stitching on there. So that's all good. I just need to cover that little bit there. Right, so when you've got all of that done, flip it over and just have a look on the underside here and just sort of match up where, if you wanted to do this right at the start, if that would have been easier, then do, but you're going to match up. There's one of it. So you can see, because of the marker pen that I've used, I can see that I am in the right kind of place. And draw your outer there. And then if you want to just neaten this up a little bit now, so you haven't got stuff you're obviously going to trim it back properly in a minute later. In a minute later, does that make sense? You know what I mean. Just make sure that you don't go into your seam allowance at this point. So still keeping that sort of ½ an inch at least. But it just means that you're dealing with something a little bit neater. Now, why did I put a fat quarter in with your long quarter bundle? I did it for this reason. It was so that you can have a fat quarter to put on the top. Now I'm using up scraps, but a fat quarter would more than do it. So if you're like me going, have I got enough of that scrap? Have I got enough of this scrap? Ooh, let's see. So this is going to be my base fabric. Again, in this beautiful Liberty. And if you want to just pop a few pins in, where did I put my pins? Here they are. And sew round. I just wouldn't sew, I'd leave a turning through gap kind of there, okay. Bear with me whilst I give this a little sew. I'm kind of drowning in a sea of scraps right now. They're all over the place, they're everywhere, and with good reason, with jolly good reason. And I'm going to just straight stitch it. And again, this was another conversation we had over the weekend, was if you can free motion, then great. You might want to free motion around here to save you stopping and swirling around in every direction. And we talked about this when sewing down the rabbit on the cushion. But for those of you who aren't into free motion, that's absolutely fine. You can, might take you a moment longer. And I just know that my Easter table is going to look really sweet with these mats. Or even if you just have someone around over Easter and you sit down, you have a little cup of tea and you have this to put your tea and your biscuit on. I just think that would be really nice. Just going to curve round. Take your pins out, and then you are going to pink all the way around. So you're going to pink, yes, you're going to pink, but also get yourself some good pinking shears. We do have some more of these Fiskars. If you want to trim back first, then do. And then we're going to snip into the really idly biddly bits. You'll see what I mean by the idly biddly bits. That's a technical crafting term. Into the idly biddly bits. Get rid of these out of the way. Let's see how Gemma is doing with the loading. Gosh, I sewed a lot of layers in there, didn't I? Now you could do the same sort of scrappy thing if you did yourself an egg template, anything like that. If you don't have pinking shears, that's fine. You can just snip, just do lots of little snips around. It's funny where I've got lots and lots of layers. It's like, oh yeah, there they are. And I'm not going to cut such a narrow seam allowance where I've yet to turn through. So there he is. We're going to snip in to all these bits. So a bit personal, up his tail, behind his neck, up into his ears, down into his ears for sure. And if you want to take away even more padding from that bit, then do. And at the tips of his ears, I'm going to take out any bits of bulk there. And again, if you want to, on these bits here, just take a little bit more out, then do. And then you can start to turn him through. So like I say, this pattern you can get free with your scrap bags. You get a free fat quarter with your long quarter bundle. This Liberty bundle is coming in half price. I cannot make Easter more affordable for you. That's it, peeps. That's the one. That's as much as I can do. You can start to see how this is going to come together. I would then press that under and press that under and top stitch. Give them a good press, and you're going to top stitch all the way around. Need to get in there for the ears. There it is. Some form of pokey tool is super handy on this make, for sure. They do come out. Oh, I love him. I just think Jane's so clever with the shape of him. Just really, she's got a really friendly shape. And when I saw it, because I've been thinking about doing these for ages, and I hadn't actually got around to drawing my own rabbit. And when Jane created this one, I was like, well, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Jane has made the most incredible bunny here. We shall simply use that. And then it's, you know, it's got that, it matches then if you've done the cushion. And I would really recommend you do the cushion. It's a simple patchwork background. And then your rabbit appliqued on top. There you go. So you'd give your bunny a goodly press. But yeah, and then top stitch all the way around. And in top stitching all the way around, what you will do is you will close up that turning through gap. There. When you give it a good press, you'll see little bits that you haven't necessarily squeezed out quite well enough. And then, like I say, in top stitching around, you will close up that turning through gap. So there you go. And the thing is, they all look fabulously different. They're just really, 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 really sweet. I love them. I love them. What does Gemma say? She says, for your information, low stock on the Maven red lining bowling bag kits and only one left of the denim blue peacock webbing with mustard gold lining. Gemma's she thinks everything up. She's just having a little check through though. Guys, I have got the total number of fat quarter bundles that I can do on these. They are half price. If you're after liberties, we've used so many of these in here. There's the peacocks, there's that blue, there's that. There are so many of those fabrics in here because I just think they're the perfect spring kind of bunny fabrics. I think they're fabulous. I just absolutely adore them. So top stitch round, and that is that one done. Done. Now, let's have a look. Can I please mention that the latest Natasha Makes design Zoom workshop kits are on the website too. So for those of you that missed the end of last week, they are on there. So if you are joining me next week, next Monday, in fact, let's have a little chat about this, shall we? We do our Natasha Makes designs Zooms every month on a Monday. So instead of watching the show, you'd log on and Zoom and you sew along. We sew along. We have a project, we sew along together. This month we are making a Stripology sized ruler bag out of tapestry and goodness knows what. So it's a really beautiful project so that those of you that have got your Stripologies, you can keep them nice and safe. Guys, for the entire month, it's $6.99. That's the price of a pattern. You get a Zoom workshop with me for as long as it takes us to get through. Ask any questions, do whatever, for $6.99. Not only that, but that workshop, you then have access to it any time once we upload it. And there are other patterns and other makes on that design part as well. So you've got all sorts of different projects on there. It's going to have a little rejig and sort of be put into more orders because we've got all sorts of patterns all over the place. It's going to be reordered and done into almost like workshops of sort of brush cotton projects or zip projects or whatever. So we are starting to organise it now because we've got so many different things up there. But it is just such a nice thing to be involved with. A really lovely thing to be involved with. So why not get involved? Come and join us, have a go, see what you think. It's been really, really lovely. I'm just looking for some H640 and see if I've got a big enough piece. Have I? Yes. Oh no, that's H6. Have I? Do I have enough left over on this one? Do you know what? Save me chopping into a whole new piece of H640 because these can be scraps. So yeah, oh, the point is, why not join us? That was kind of the point. Just going to very quickly. So if we want to very quickly, and this is going to be a very quickly one. If you want to make it doesn't really matter which way round you do it. Now you see the backing was done that way. It doesn't matter. You can have them whichever way round you wish. But let's very quickly, very quickly do this one because it really doesn't take very long at all. Now you can do it scrappy, of course you can. Let's get that backing on. So just quickly trim so that there isn't quite so much bulk. Is this going to be a record? I don't think that we've ever managed to do 3 projects in one go. Don't know. I don't think we ever have. Anywho, I'm going to be incredibly decadent and pop my peacocks on the back of here because I love peacocks and I feel like I haven't seen enough of them over here. So let's just, with this new funky iron, which we love, now you will use an entire piece of H640 and not bodge it like me because you're in a rush. I do love these irons, they're just fab. Trim that back. Now in the instructions it gives you a size to cut some squares, okay, and I'm going to see if I have enough. Do I have enough? Oof, I might. This is the fabric that I used for those, and again these are from the New Liberties. Jane's going to be using these next week. No, not next week, tomorrow. Right, Janio. Yes. Yes, she is. She's not listening to me, but yes. So I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to fold it in half. This will be my pocket. Okay, so I'm going to sew straight away. Oh my gosh. My scraps are getting out of control. Okay. Now, what I would say to you is, I'm going to layer this up. Decide whereabouts you want it. What I might do is just layer that up so that it's kind of in line with my seam, and then you won't necessarily notice my seam. I did mine higher so that I can just control my cutlery, but it's up to you where you put it. So you put your pocket in between. So that's my backing fabric face down, pocket on top. And then this will be my main body of fabric here. And we're going to pin, we're going to sew around, and that is it done. I know. Where are my pins? Where is everything? Oh, this is the carry case that comes with the iron, by the way. Super handy. Super handy. So same thing with these. We're going to just sew a little bit. We're going to leave a turning through gap in the bottom there, and sew all the way around. So this rabbit coming in very, very useful. If you're not into rabbits, that's absolutely fine. We made you the easy phone case today, so you've had a make as well. So hopefully, by the time that we've finished, everyone will be happy. And you'll have all have had. Gemma messaged me this morning. She said, "Which one of these makes are you doing today?" Like, all of them! We are doing all of them. And there was just a, okay. Might have peaked for the week. Don't know what I'm going to do on Wednesday now. But I am very aware that Easter is coming up thick and fast, so we need to get these out to you ASAP, which we will do. So that's why I wanted to do all of the Easter makes today. But as you can see, these do not take very long to make. Great teacher gifts as well. I mean, these could double up as a placemat once they've had the cutlery out of them, if you didn't put gifts in them. They're really, really versatile. Okay, so we've sewn all the way around. Pinking shears out again, pins out. I feel like this has been like a challenge Annika type show today. Like, how many things can we say? And by the way, nobody put the pressure on to have this many makes today, apart from me. So I have no one but myself to blame for deciding to do multiple makes. But here it is. Here it is. Emily's going to love these. I know what it's going to be. She didn't see these this morning before she went to school. Oh, gone through quite a lot of hairs there. There we go. Yeah, she didn't get to see all of these. So I might manage to squirrel them away in my Easter and Christmas cupboard. where no one is allowed. Everybody knows that they are out of bounds. My Christmas/Easter cupboard. And if they say, oh, but isn't Father Christmas real? Then Gemma gave me this line. If you don't believe, you don't receive. That's absolutely fine. Say what you like, but if you don't believe, you don't receive. It's funny how they suddenly start believing again. Do you know what? I could not for the life of me, whilst I was stood here about to draw this onto the back of my H640, I couldn't work out for the life of me which way round he would come out. And I've done him the other way. Not that it matters. But if you do want them uniform, maybe take a little photo so that you can remember. And also, you know, if you want things like your pockets to be at the same point, now these are going to be gifted, so the same people won't know that one pocket was higher than the other. But if you are having them as your table settings or something like that, maybe just mark or just draw, make them the same. Make a mark for where you want that to cross over on your template. So that you do have that uniformity. I love the peacocks on the back of the bunnies. Yes. Gently up into those ears. I just love that peacock fabric. I'm very in love with the peacock fabric. But to have Liberty Easter bunnies, I think we are doing okay. And again, give them a good press. When you stitch around, when you top stitch around, so I've done my pocket there, that will sit very nicely there. But you see, it's when you press that you realise, oh, okay, I haven't actually eked out that little back bit of his paw there. Give that a little press. You might want to applique initials or something onto this, but top stitch around. Pop your little gifts in and away you go. So this one here has got cutlery in. And I keep moving it around so it keeps getting all jumbled. So that could be cutlery bunny, gifting bunny, pop your coffee on there, little piece of cake on there. Perfect. That's that's today's show, everybody. On top of that, of course, we've also got the Easy Peasy phone pouch. Look, see how they have multiplied just in the course of an hour. It's what bunnies do, you know. So yeah, get your irons. That's what I've got of them, just to see if you liked them. Grab your pattern for these and your PU bundles. They've been very, very carefully made for you, so that those linings give you a lovely contrast. And then if you didn't get the elasticated key fob instructions, you wanted an elasticated one, that was on last week. Either that or just use as you've just seen me do today. There you go, everybody. I'm going to turn... makes me so happy, and turn that off. Thank you so much for joining me. Jane is here tomorrow with a brand new creative grid ruler during the Hunter Star, so please do join us then. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow with Jane. Take care. Lots of love. Bye bye. Oh, hang on, Gemma.